Welcome to the Swamps of Muldrotha. Hope you're excited. As far as opening hand goes, yeah, we've got a lot of lands in the hand, but we have vaults, so pretty much we're online for anything. So I'm gonna keep on this one. I like it a lot. We're able to get these, get the 5 lands down, and then we're gonna be online for Temple of the False God. There we go. Sorry, my cat was in my lap, and I didn't want to push her out of my lap if she didn't want to get out, but she was kind of like half getting out of my lap, half staying in my lap. But now she decided fully to get out of my lap. So there's your cat update. All right, so playing against Captain Sisay. Let's go and cover Muldrotha the Gravetide. During each of your turns, you may play up to 1 permanent card of each permanent type from your graveyard. Now, permanent type, that's pretty much just going to be, you got lands, artifacts, creatures, planeswalkers, anything that is a permanent. I know that may seem like overkill to explain it, but there's some new people to Magic sometimes, and so just kind of giving a rundown of what's going on with what permanents are kind of helps sometimes. Let's go and grab Watery Grave. Let's go and have that come into play tap. Not going to pay 2 life, and then probably go and jam a vault next turn. I think that sounds pretty good. Let's go and get down Bayou, and then anything else. We're going to go and pass turn to our opponent. Playing against Captain Sisay. Tap, search your library for a legendary card, reveal that card, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. So we'll see if we can't get out from underneath Sisay, just getting out a ton of stuff. I don't know what, man. I think my win percentage against her is really bad. I'd be willing to bet that it is. Opponent's going to go for Oath of Nissa and see what the reveal is. They're going to reveal a Scattered Groves off that. So at least they're going to be able to make the land drop for the turn, and then we'll be online for a Vault. As far as what we're looking for with the Vault, more than likely, I just kind of want some good life from the loam. That's always some really good stuff to get. If you're playing a graveyard-based deck, it always feels good. Yeah, we're going to pay life on this one. Put those on the bottom in any order. Azusa, we're going to pay life on that one. Any order, pay life on that. And I may speed this up real quick. Hedron Crab, there we go. All right, we're going to and Gitrog Monster. I like that. Not going to pay life on this one. Let's go ahead and go for. Let's put Botanical Sanctum. Let's go Underground Sea, Temple of Deceit. Let's go the Gitrog Monster himself, and then Hedron Crab on top of our library. Hedron Crab's a lot of fun. We start getting a bunch of lands down and start milling a bunch. Oh, makes for some really good magic. All right, we're going to go and get down Hedron Crab. We're going to go ahead and get our land down drop first for the turn. That way we don't mill away Gitrog. I actually don't mind playing with Gitrog, so we're going to get down Dakmor Salvage first, miss out on that mill, and then we'll be able to mill a few more lands into the graveyard following that. We'll cover both commanders free time. We can talk about whatever we want. But yeah, off that vault, long story short, I was looking for some sort of just graveyard action. We need to get our graveyard going. We can't really have a swamp if we don't have any cards in there. And so I was looking for life from the loam first, but once we ran into Hedron Crab, I'm like, yeah, we can make that work. I think that'll sound pretty good. Let's go ahead and get down Breeding Pool. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to creatures you control. Okay, well, it's not the end of the world if that's going to happen. Let's go ahead and get down Breeding Pool. We're going to send not going to pay 2 life because there's nothing for 4. Send that Hedron Crab trigger over in us. And, important thing, our opponent is shields down. So, we're going to be able to get Hedron Crab coming into the red zone. Let our opponent really know what's up. Alright, I'm going to swing in with the Hedron Crab. It's going to be 0-2 coming across, setting the tone for the match. Anything else, we're going to go and pass turn to our opponent. Now, as far as this particular build of Muldrotha, this is a kind of just an enter the battlefield creature deck. Nothing too crazy. If you're new to my channel, I have Damia, which is kind of more of a soul-type planeswalker style build. And so when I was thinking about building Muldrotha, I really wanted to build something that it's a little bit different than what you see on my channel. So, and then once I kind of started adding a bunch of fun enter the battlefield creatures, I realized like, hey, this is there's nothing wrong with just going for a Sultai value deck. And keeping on true point with Sultai not really having a ton of win conditions. It's just really just get a lot of value on the battlefield and dirtle for a long time. And then hopefully you win. So, but it's not a bad deck. It's actually pretty fun. Alright, so we do have Fleshback Marauder in the hand. We can tap out for Muldrotha. Let's go and get down Temple of the False God. And that's going to be 1-2. Let's go and send that Hedron Crab trigger over to us. Yes, let's get that graveyard going. All right, Titania, Hostage Taker, Intuition. Yeah, before Nissa flips, let's go ahead and go for that. That's going to be 1-2. There's nothing else we can get down for 3. We're going to have to sacrifice Fleshback Marauder. We're going to get rid of Nissa off the battlefield, and then Fleshback go back into the red zone. Go back into the graveyard. Once again, we're going to go and send Hedron Crab in for 2, for 0, excuse me. Really set the tone once again to our opponent, that they know what's going on. All right, there we go. If they have more than 1 mana untapped, that's when they get into sacrifice target attacking creature, so we're not going to swing in with Hedron Crab, only when shields are down. Hedron Crab tends to be simply just a utility creature most of the time, and so you know, it's nice to let them get into the red zone sometimes, like your little mana dorks and stuff like that. You know, Noble Hierarch, she's used to being in an Infect deck, but when you go Noble Hierarch Beat Stick sometimes, she gets really excited. You know, it's something that she normally doesn't get to do. And allowing Hedron Crab to swing into the red zone, it's something that he normally doesn't get to do. So that's what we're going for. All right, let's go and get down Muldrotha. That's going to be 1-2. You got to take care of utility creatures out there. 1, 2, 3. Tap out for black. 1, 2 off Temple and the False God. And then we're looking at water. Yeah, there's nothing really much else we can cast out of the graveyard. Just trying to decide how we need to sequence this one. Actually, let's set it up to where... Yeah, either way, it's not going to matter. We could go for the Vault, but I was like, no, that's not a permanent card. All right, we're going to go for Muldrotha. It's going to be 1, 2. And then tap out for 1 more off Watery Grave. Get down Muldrotha. We do have... Let's go and go for Temple of Deceit, actually, now that I think about it. Or we could go for Bloodstained Mire to get some more action going. Let's do that. All right. Get on Bloodstained Mire. We're going to send 3 over here. In response to that, we're going to go ahead and crack. Probably not going to hit the lane that we're searching up for, but it always feels good to go and get out of the way. Get down to Overgrown Tomb. Not going to pay 2 on this one. That'll be another 3 that we can send over here. Oh, yes. Get that graveyard going. Look at that. And might see Path to Exile. All right, there we go. Opponent was sitting on Path, but look at that graveyard though. All right, we're gonna use that ability. We get another land on the battlefield. That's the good thing about, you know, running a lot of lands in here. We've got black, black, black. Let's go and grab a green, green, green. Let's go and grab a blue source. Grab an island off that. All right, that'll be 9 cards in the grid. Look at Hedron Crab putting in some work. Yes, I love it. All right, that's gonna be Toxic Deluge, 3 visits, exploration. Ooh, once we get that exploration down, we'll be in a pretty good spot. The only thing that we're missing right now would be something like Eternal Witness. So if we can grab Toxic Deluge, that'll be additional backup for us. We're not gonna swing it with Hedron Crab at this point. He's a little tired. He's done a lot of milling. But yeah, as far as what we've got going on in the graveyard, let's go and get this popped up just a little bit. I'm trying to make this just a little bit easier to digest for the people watching the video. So we do have Vault in the hand. Titania would definitely be something that we can get down once we get down Muldrotha. That's going to give us an alternative win condition once we start getting these lands going. If our opponent does get down something big with Captain Sisay, we can get down Big Game Hunter to kind of take care of it. So that's something we can start working towards. We do have... I think Astronaut's Altar in here, so if we get a lot of these into the battlefield creatures, that once we cast them out there, if we get down Astronaut's Altar, if we mill into it, that's something we can recast and then start casting some of those creatures again. All right, opponent's going to go for Loyal Retainers. Sack it, return legendary card from your graveyard to the battlefield. We have Tesha swinging in for 2. All right, I'm just making sure I'm not missing anything on the board state. That's pretty much what I'm going for. But I think at this point right now, there's nothing too crazy. They only got Path to Exile in the graveyard. All right. So you drawn to Sidisi. Let's go ahead and get Muldrotha pop back up. Let's go ahead and get the force down for the turn. Let's go ahead and go for Muldrotha. Oh, why can't we cast Muldrotha? No, there's a Hedron Crab trigger. There we go. All right. Get the Hedron Crab trigger, put the top 3 cards of our library into our graveyard, see what we hit outside of that. Manglehorn, Golgari's Signet. Okay, let's go ahead and go for Muldrotha. That's going to be 1, 2. 1, 2. Going to be Sultai colors, and then 1, 2, 3. All right. Let's go ahead and leave up. We need to leave up 1 green mana for that exploration. We'll leave that off by you. Let's go for exploration. We'll be able to make an additional land drop off of this one. Let's go ahead and go for any certain land that we need to get out there. Command Beacon. Yes, let's get Command Beacon out there. I'm really bad about sometimes missing lands in the graveyard. And Command Beacon with Muldrotha is just really, really good. All right. End up with a few more cards in the graveyard. It's going to leave us 1 more mana to go for. Nothing else for 1. Now we're going to go and pass turn to our opponent. All right. We're going to keep our fingers crossed that Muldrotha doesn't get hit by another piece of spot removal. Our opponent does have a lot of creatures on the battlefield. It's not too devastating at this point right now. It's just a bunch of little, good utility creatures. They have yet to get down Captain Sisay. They don't have any sort of haste, so that's something that we don't necessarily have to worry about them just searching up a ton of tutors at this point. And then Nissa is flipped as a planeswalker now. But yeah, as far as next turn goes, since we do have exploration, we're going to be able to play an additional land on each of our turns. We might end up going for Titania. That way we can start playing some of these fetch lands out of our graveyard to get those creatures going. Outside of that, I'm trying to think if there's anything else good utility. We do have Hostage Taker, so if there's something we want to cast off Hostage Taker to bring back, might even be able to get Teshar, casting a historic spell to return creature card with converted mana cost 3 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. That would be kind of fun. Might be a little situation. Maybe we need to use that for a little bit better spot removal, since our only other removal is Fleshbang Marauder, and our opponent has a choice on that. We do have Manglehorn out of the graveyard, destroy target artifact, which our opponent doesn't have out there, and then I think that's about it. Yeah, so at this point right now, our good utility creature is going to be Titania, which is going to help us kind of shift the game into a different position. And then more than likely, now that that Sword and Fire and Ice is out there, we might end up going for Manglehorn on that, because we want to get rid of that repeated value that our opponents can be able to go for. So probably that. We do have Panharmonicon in the deck, so somehow if we can get Panharmonicon milled, luckily, we're at 60 cards in our library, so we've seen about in the neighborhood of 40 cards, either in the graveyard or between our hand. And also, at the same time, we still have Sidisi, Undead Vizier in our hand. So that's something we can search up. Protection from blue and red. What we might end up doing, we're going to let this come through. Hopefully they don't hit Hedron Crab. That'll be a bummer if they do. But one thing that we can do is go for Sidisi, grab the blue exploit creature, and then we can start bouncing some of these creatures back to their hand once a turn. If we want to bounce Riku back to the hand or something like that. And they do send the 2 damage up top, showing mad respect for Hedron Crab. Like they might have that indestructible spell. That's one colorless on Hedron Crab. All right, but I'm just going to go for Explore on this one. And let's see what we draw into. All right, draw into Flooded Strand. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and go for Flooded Strand. We're going to get the Hedron Crab trigger targeting ourselves. Let's go ahead and crack in response to that. Let's go and grab that Tropical Island. That'll be another 3 for us, milling into the graveyard. Grizzly Salvage, Pernicious Deed. At this point right now, if we end up going for Deed, that's really, really going to wreck the board state at this point. Let's go for this. Let's go ahead and go for, yeah, I kind of like going for that. Let's go for Deed. That's going to be green and then black, and then one more black off Dakmor Salvage. We're going to go ahead and destroy. We need to make sure we make all of our additional lane drops. Let's go and start bringing some of our basics out. I think we might be getting in a position to where we are running out of fetchable sources for some of our fetch lands. That's something we do need to watch out for. Let's go and go for. Let's go for Pernicious Deed. That's going to be 1, 2, 3. That should clean up the entire board on our opponent. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think I like that. No, 4. Yeah, we need to go 4. Tap out on Breeding Pool. Okay. That's still going to give us Muldrotha to start swinging across. All right, clear the board out. Let's go and go for Azusa. Hedron Crab, thank you so much for your service today. I really appreciate that. Where is Hedron Crab? Not Hedron Crab. Azusa, there we go. Bring out Azusa. That's going to be 1, 2. Props to our opponent for sticking this one out. It's a little difficult getting a lot of this stuff going. And then we've already made the land drop out of the graveyard. Let's go and go for Golgari Signet, tapping out a command beacon. At this point, Nissa is sitting at 6. Yeah, we'll go and swing in at Nissa just to go ahead and take care of it. I think I like going for that. All right, let's go and swing in at Nissa. It's going to take care of Nissa, and then we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. Now, like I said, once again, we were going for talking about that Titania play last turn. But we can still get that down. Another really good option in Muldrotha is going to be Sidisi, Brute Tyrant. That allows us to parallax. Oh, all right. Yeah, remove a fade counter, exile target creature, leaves the battlefield. Each player returns to the battlefield all cards they own with Parallax Wave. All right, so they're going to be able to at least target Muldrotha. At least we still have some good stuff in the hand. We've got more than enough cards with the Get Rock Monster to deploy out some really good stuff. We still have Acidic Slime in the hand too, so we can actually go for Acidic Slime next turn, now that I think about it. So that'll at least kind of take care of that wave. I just had that reaction because I forget what it is, but there's something that they can just keep that Parallax Wave coming and coming, and like they keep it bouncing off the battlefield or something like that, and it's just, it makes for not a lot of fun. Let's go to get the forest down. Let's go ahead and go for Acidic Slime. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, and the tap out for one more off this Dakmor Salvage. Have Acidic Slime enter the battlefield. We're going to go and target that Parallax Wave. If they want to, they can target Azusa off that one. I mean, we're still going to get it back either way. Now, with Muldrotha going back to the command zone, I'm not entirely sure if it's still exiled with it. I know sometimes on Magic Online, it's kind of difficult changing the zones on Magic Online sometimes. It doesn't really do exactly how you want sometimes. And so we might get Muldrotha back. We might have to recast her. I'm not entirely sure. But we're going to go and exile Parallax Wave. If our opponent wants to exile it, we could just simply recast to get another into the battlefield. All right, yeah, I did send Muldrotha back to the command zone, so that happens sometimes. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and go for... That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're not going to have enough to cast out of the graveyard. Let's go ahead and go for... Let's get Muldrotha back down. Yeah, we need to get that graveyard going. If we go for 1 off Command Beacon, put Muldrotha back into our hand, that's still going to give us enough mana to cast her. So it's going to be 1, 2. Let's go and tap out for Soul Tie colors. It's going to be 1, 2, black and then blue. Going to go for Muldrotha. That's still going to give us 2 more mana. We can still make a land drop out of the graveyard too. Let's go and go for Harbor. That'll give us 3, and then we can go for Fleshbag Marauder on Sidisi. Let's go and tap for the filter mana first. 1, 2, Golgari Signet, and we're going to go for Fleshbag Marauder out of the graveyard. Having us each sacrifice a creature, we're going to go ahead and sacrifice, at this point, yeah, we'll go and sacrifice Fleshbag. I really like, if our opponent wants to recast Sidisi, I like having that, not Sidisi, but Captain Sisay. I like having that option of being able to swing it in, or at least get our opponent's creature off the battlefield. All right, let's go swing in with the Zuza, swing it for 1, get on the board for the first time, and then knock them down to 29. All right, anything else, we're going to go and pass turn to our opponent. Like I said, we did mill into Ravenous Chupacabra, so that's something that we can get going out of the graveyard if our opponent gets any sort of spot removal down. Once we run into Eternal Witness, that's when you can kind of get into some fun stuff with Eternal Witness. That allows you to start bringing more creatures out of the graveyard. But we've got some good removal. Like I said, we've got Big Game Hunter and then Fleshbag Marauder. And once again, we still have Deed. So we can crack Deed and then kind of go to town from there. That's one of the good things about Muldrotha having a 6 converted mana cost, is that with Deed, you just clears the entire board. I recorded a video. I may have not. I don't know if I posted it or not, but I thought Deed was kind of like engineered explosives, where you just had to pop it for for 2 or for 3, and that was it. And it didn't clear everything down below it. And so for some reason, I just had it stuck in my head. There's a lot of Magic cards out there, and sometimes you just you process a Magic card very quickly in your head, and for some reason I attached the engineered explosive trigger to it. Not trigger, but the restriction. All right, opponent's gonna scoop it up on this one. That's I don't blame him. Once you kind of get to this point where you got half your library into your graveyard, and with this deck, your graveyard is an extension of your hand. So really, we have a 31 card, or really a 34 card hand, as you can tell. Unfortunately, we did not get a Mr. Gitrog Monster or Sidisi, but both of these are excellent cards to run in here. And if you think about building Muldrotha, I highly suggest, if you want to build an Enter the Battlefield deck, it's a lot of fun. Lands is definitely an option, but Enter the Battlefield creatures is one of the makes for a lot of fun. You're only casting 1 per turn, but it still makes for some really fun gameplay, and that's what you're going for with Magic. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.